Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and the latest trailer footage for Deadpool and Wolverine includes one new angle of Cassandra Nova's giant man compound that I know all of you were like, Erik Voss is gonna make a 10-minute video breaking this down. And you know what? No, I can't get 10 minutes out of this one shot. All I can tell you is that it's our first complete look at the Fox X-Men villains caravan, including the Fantastic Car that we know will be driven by Ray Park, Toad, another armored vehicle that drags the spherical prisoner cages, and then the Iron Man themed Red Skull V16 coupe, and then the Moon Knight Von Darrowman cupcake truck, and bringing up the rear, the other armored vehicle with the golden paneled column that we also know has the Canadarm attachment and is towed by 4 familiar Marvel motorcycles. And that in one of those 2 cages is Deadpool and Wolverine together, and in the other one is a TVA Minuteman. So that's it. Where are we at? 1 minute? 1 minute and a half? But what I can tell you is that this shot in many ways was the final missing piece of a puzzle, as I and New Rockstars production head John Costa have toiled this week to reassemble every piece of trailer footage into a chronological string out. This is something that we do for every movie release that we cover here on this channel, and it's a massive behind the scenes team effort to make our Easter egg breakdowns as in-depth and as high quality as we can make them. These studios do not give us high quality access to their movies to make these videos with. We gotta piece them together based off of available trailer footage, and we need to just kind of like figure out the chronology of these movies. And so, beloved viewer, I'm bringing you into this process, because by completing this process, it helped us decode some major revelations that we've been wondering about. One, that this Bifrost looking attachment to the Canadarm is not a Bifrost blast in Goliath repellent, it's something else. 2, trailer footage deceptively edits around the sequences in the movie likely to have the most juiciest cameos. 3, Deadpool and Wolverine's arrival and escape from Cassandra's compound is assisted by Goliath. And 4, you can learn a lot about what happens in this movie by looking at the state of Wolverine's suit, like when he loses his sleeves and his shoulder pads, and when he gains bullet holes in the chest. And I do want to give you a heads up, while all of our Deadpool and Wolverine videos on New Rockstars have been speculative to a point, if you don't want to know the full plot broken down based on these trailer clues, you don't have to watch this video. I'll forgive you. We just wanted to bring you into this process because it's really interesting, and I just want all of us to be on the same page. Okay, so based on the footage that was shown at CinemaCon, the opening act of this movie will show Wade, retired from superhero life, working as a used car salesman with Pete, leading to his birthday party where he connects with Vanessa and all of his other friends. And then here is where the TVA finds him, and he meets Paradox, which I think will be to find a particular Wolverine in the multiverse. And they're gonna equip Deadpool with a fresh new suit with adamantium swords, and then all of that will kind of take up Act 1 of the movie. And then we'll break into Act 2. And again, this is just based on trailer footage that we've reassembled, and this is where I think we're gonna see a lot of cameos initially in the movie to kind of whet our appetites. Like this Wolverine variant search throughout the multiverse will take Deadpool to whatever casino club this is, where he'll meet Patch Wolverine, who will be a different actor in the role, maybe like Daniel Radcliffe or Taron Egerton. And I think there's gonna be others here that trailer footage has not shown us any part of, and Patch will just be part of a montage, and we're gonna see a lot of different Wolverines. But ultimately, Deadpool's search will end in this bar in Canada. Based on the context of the scene, it seems like it's the first time these two meet, right? Like Deadpool knows who Wolverine is, but Logan calls Deadpool lady, so I think this is the first time Logan has met Deadpool. So this is the Wolverine that Deadpool extracts and brings back to the TVA. And I think the shots of Wolverine just kind of like face down on the TVA floor and Paradox with his nose broken, I think are all in this part of the movie. And it seems like after Logan's arrival, the TVA will suit him up in this classic blue and yellow suit. Because in the way that they have a perfect suit and weapons for Deadpool, I assume they have an adamantium supply for Wolverine as well. And they'll fix his claws. It'll be like the Wizard of Oz, you know? They all show up there, brush, 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 stab, 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 you're gonna have some new claws. That's how we'll have the day away at Paradox Land of Oz. It's just really because these shots of Logan in the TVA are the cleanest and newest his suit looks in any of this footage. It looks right off the assembly line. So I think shortly after this, Deadpool and Wolverine will be transported into this particular region of the TVA, which looks like a super, super dry salt flat. This is the area where the 20th Century Fox logo is, where the Toronto CN Tower is, where it looks like there is a Golden Gate Bridge in the background. And we should note that this part of the wasteland has some markedly different terrains, like these salt flats, compared to the rockier terrain with the canyons and the rolling hills where Cassandra Nova's giant man compound is located. There's also another tree grove that Deadpool and Wolverine drive through and their car breaks down in, where they also fight. There's also more of a grassy terrain where this diner is located and where we see Dogpool running. And then finally, a town square where the Liefeld footwear store is. So there's just different parts of this general terrain, and they're not all next to each other. So these salt flats are, I think, the outskirts of the post-incursion wasteland, and they are where where the bigger chunks of other realities crash land into. They also seem to be more desaturated compared to the rest of the landscape, and they might actually border a vast abyss or a cloudy rift in reality that just dumps everything in. This is where Deadpool and Wolverine have their first really nasty fight, because in many of these shots, their suits are still mostly unblemished, but Wolverine starts slashing at Deadpool, and Deadpool starts plugging Wolverine with bullets and katana strikes. And so from here forward, you'll notice every shot of Wolverine in his yellow suit has these 3 bullet holes on the chest. But he still leaves these salt flats with his sleeves mostly intact. However, Wolverine and Deadpool at this point encounter the scavenger characters of previous film X-Men villains in this caravan, who all serve Cassandra Nova, and these include Pyro and Toad. This tank that has a Canadarm on it that unfolds into this dish. I just realized what this is. In the past, I speculated that this dish kind of looks like the Bifrost and might emit a Bifrost blast that repels Alioth, but I actually think this unfolding dish really just pops out 3-dimensionally into a spherical cage that ensnares people like a net. And one of these catches Deadpool and Wolverine together and forces them to kind of spoon awkwardly inside of it. Look at this Ridge wallet! Look at it! I know you've got a wallet, but unless you have a Ridge wallet, you don't have the right wallet. And hey, I get it. I had a wallet that I'd had forever. It's some bulky thing that I got in college because I needed a wallet, and then I just kept because I thought that's how wallets worked. My old wallet wasn't slim, but Ridge is. My old wallet wasn't indestructible, but Ridge is. My old wallet was definitely not the perfect Father's Day gift, but Ridge is. Oh yeah, that's right. Ridge is having a site-wide Father's Day sale where you can get up to 40% off some of your favorite Ridge items across the Ridge website. Now, if you have an AirTag, you can make sure you never lose your wallet again. If you already have a Ridge wallet that you love, you can upgrade to MagSafe plates easily. The strengthening tray improves the magnetic adhesion between your phone and the Ridge wallet, and you can still charge your phone with the tray attached. A Ridge key case can easily hold anywhere from 1 to 6 keys to securely protect them and hold them in place. And best of all, your keys won't make any noise anymore because the key case holds them all secure. Ridge wallets are all backed with a lifetime warranty and a 365-day risk-free trial. You can send it back for a full refund if you don't love it, but trust me, you will. Help support our channel by shopping Ridge's Father's Day sale at the link in the description, and thanks to Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this video. Okay, so this caravan drags them across the landscape into this new region, and notice there's far more saturation here, kind of like George Miller's shots in Mad Max Fury Road and Furiosa. As they approach Cassandra's compound, we see this new shot from the recent promo where the sphere cage on the right has Deadpool and Wolverine, and the other one has a TVA Minuteman. So here they meet Cassandra Nova for the first time. She presents herself from the giant man's skull as its walkway comes down the mouth. But I think they only meet her briefly here because it seems like Alioth is gonna arrive at this point and sweep the compound. Like, it seems like Cassandra Nova's goons will all flee to inside the compound, but Deadpool and Wolverine and this Minuteman are gonna be left to fend for themselves outside. And that is where in the Super Bowl trailer, there's a very brief shot of the Minuteman whose hands are still cuffed and he gets snatched by Alioth. So whatever this chaos is, I believe is gonna be how Deadpool and Wolverine escape Cassandra's compound. Because a recent tickets on sale promo ends with the scene of Deadpool on top of Wolverine on the ground, and you'll notice in this shot that Wolverine still has his sleeves and his shoulder pads, but they're in the canyon region that looks closer to the compound than it does to the white salt flats. So we're able to see like what order this is all happening in. So after being in the caravan custody, they must have escaped if they had gotten kidnapped from the salt flat region. And I think whatever Alioth does is the best explanation. So now there are 2 details here. 1, how would Cassandra Nova be able to repel Alioth to keep it from devouring all of Giant Man's corpse? It could be this makeshift cerebro that she has constructed inside of the skull, or since Alioth is the manifestation of the weather, maybe Cassandra Nova has captured Storm and has her in a kind of stasis inside of the facility and hijacks her mind to use her to control all kinds of weather inside this region, including Alioth. The second detail in the tickets on sale planking shot, there are train tracks leading off from the left side of frame. I think these train tracks lead all the way to Joe's Diner. And if you look at the angle that shows the window to the outside, on the right side of the window behind Wade, that looks like a set of train tracks that connect this grassy area to a rocky ridge in the distance. So here's where things get a little tougher to piece together, but the land outside that diner is grassy, and there is a shot of Dogpool in the recent promo running through some similar grass, and I think this pup enters the film around this part of the movie. Also in this middle section of the film, it's kind of where it's gonna feel like a Planes, Trains, and Automobiles buddy comedy where Wade and Logan get to know each other while on a road trip. I think they find this blue van and they hit the road. There is a shot of the blue van in this tree grove, and you can see Wolverine inside of the van, and he still has his sleeves and his shoulder pads and the 3 bullet holes on the chest. This is visible in the shot where Wolverine crawls to the back of the van to attack Deadpool, and Deadpool somehow flies through the sky roof. And then some turn happens at this midpoint where Deadpool and Wolverine are gonna meet a bunch of cameos. The trailer footage omits quite a bit here, but we see a few shots where Wolverine is now sleeveless, one by the campfire, and others where they're in this kind of man cave with Hulk's bed from Sakaar and Thor Ragnarok. Both of them, you'll notice, Hugh Jackman no longer has sleeves. Now at the campfire, Logan says, "I'm no hero, kid," and some believe it could be a line delivered to Laura X-23, maybe a line delivered to Kidpool, but either way, it's just gonna be a part of the film where a lot of cameo variants are gonna appear, and we just don't know who they're gonna plug in to this point of the movie. But one question we could ask is, how did Logan lose these sleeves? Like, why are they torn off? I think one explanation is that something or someone completely tore off his arms from the shoulder sockets, and then the clothing just got damaged, but then Wade might have helped reattach the arms so that they could reattach and the healing could begin. Who would be strong enough to rip off Wolverine's arms? Magneto, since he's got an adamantium skeleton? Maybe Juggernaut? Maybe Hulk? Like, we do see Hulk's bed, maybe he's just mad someone slept in it. So at this point in the movie, I believe, is where we get the shots of the town square where they epically walk out like it's high noon. This is the town that includes Liefeld's footwear store, and Wolverine is now sleeveless, and Deadpool has acquired these golden guns, which I believe he gets from the samurai Deadpool character, who we know from set photos that we will not show you. This character does carry golden Desert Eagles. Okay, so at this point, Deadpool and Wolverine take the blue van back to the compound, returning on their own terms, where you'll notice Wolverine is sleeveless, and both he and Deadpool charge out of this van, and this is where Wolverine, who's now sleeveless, tries to attack Cassandra Nova inside of the skull. This, I think, is part of like the end of the Act 2 battle, the break into 3, as they call it in screenwriting, which would lead to an even crazier third act that we'll get to in a second. But you'll notice in this return to the compound, Deadpool and Wolverine are not alone, because I pointed out in the past that that blue van behind them has several open doors, not just two. Like, the back doors are open, the exterior hatchback is open. So at this point in their journey, they have already put together a motley crew team of cameos for backup. And we know one of them is Elektra, because we see Elektra's elbow in the shot of them charging from that van into the compound. She's gonna be one of the members of the team. And like all great action movies, this second act battle would end with an interesting twist that would kick us into the third act. And I think that twist is we're gonna learn that Cassandra Nova is not the villain of this movie, but rather Paradox and the TVA that he runs are. Because in the big sling ring portal jump shot, Cassandra Nova is not trying to stop them or chase them in any way. She's just kind of standing off to the side, smiling approvingly, like she wants them to take control of the movie at this point. Now, I know sling ring portals are supposed to just bridge points in geographic space within the same world, but when sling rings were first introduced by Mordo in the 2016 Doctor Strange movie, he said that they could open gateways between universes.
They allow us to travel throughout the multiverse.
So, while I think many of us assume that snowy forest where Deadpool's fighting TVA agents in what looks like Logan's gravesite from the 2017 Logan film might be early in the film, no, I think that's actually from an epic third act montage that revisits locations from past Marvel films, including the 2017 Logan film and 2019's Endgame, and maybe Liberty Island from the 2000 X-Men movie. Like, anywhere cool you could imagine for them to return, I think they're gonna go there. Like, think about it, for Deadpool to now be going rogue to savagely tear through TVA agents, it really only makes sense for him to be doing that in the third act of the movie. It's gonna be part of some glorious grand finale that takes Deadpool back through the most iconic Marvel scenes from history as the TVA try to stop him from destroying everything. Now, I don't know what the exact resolution of this movie is gonna be. I kind of don't wanna know, but I think the broad strokes of the plot will be in the order I just described. And I think the biggest surprises and cameos have been, and will continue to be, omitted from trailer footage. I trust Ryan Reynolds and his maximum effort team and Marvel to not ruin this whole movie for us, because as we pointed out, there are big pieces of acts 2 and 3 that we don't have anything for. So don't worry, I think we're still mostly in the dark for the biggest surprises and reveals for this film. Comment down below with what you think is gonna happen in this movie. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels of the new Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.